Hello there and welcome to InfoWorld. Today I am bringing a video about the 9 best helicopters being operated by different militaries around the world. Let's begin. On number 1 is Boeing AH-64E Apache Guardian. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is an American twin turboshaft attack helicopter with a tailwheel type landing gear arrangement and a tandem cockpit for a crew of 2. It features a nose-mounted sensor suite for target acquisition and night vision systems. It is armed with a 30mm M230 chain gun carried between the main landing gear, under the aircraft's forward fuselage, and 4 hardpoints mounted on stub wing pylons for carrying armament and stores, typically a mixture of a GM-114 Hellfire missiles and Hydra 70 rocket pods. Its length 17.73 meters and fuselage length of 15.06 meters. Its height is 3.87 manned, weighs about 165 kilograms when not armed. Formerly known as AH-64D Block 3, in 2012, it was redesignated as AH-64E Guardian. It has improved digital connectivity, the Joint Tactical Information Distribution System, and 2 General Electric T700 G701D engines producing about 1,690 shaft horsepower with upgraded face gear transmission to handle more power, capability to control unmanned aerial vehicles, full IFR capability, and improved landing gear. New composite rotor blades, which completed testing in 2004, increase cruise speed, climb rate, and payload capacity. Its max speed is 293 kilometers per hour, and service ceiling is 100 meters. Also equipped with Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman and our APG-78 longbow fire control radar. Coming up next is Bell AH-1Z Viper. The Bell AH-1Z Viper is a twin-engine attack helicopter based on the AH-1W Super Cobra, designed and produced by the American aerospace manufacturer Bell Helicopter. It is one of the latest members of the prolific Bell Huey family. It is often called Zulu Cobra, based on the military phonetic alphabet pronunciation of its variant letter. The airframe was extensively redesigned to maximize crashworthiness. Measures include energy-absorbing landing gear, fuel vapor inerting systems, self-sealing fuel tanks. The AH-1Z is equipped with a bearingless and hingeless rotor system. This has 75% fewer parts than that of 4-bladed articulated systems. The rotor blades are composed of composites, which give them increased ballistic survivability. The rotor is equipped with a semi-automatic folding system, enabling the AH-1Z to be stored more efficiently aboard amphibious assault ships and other means of transportation. The AH-1Z is equipped with a pair of redesigned stub wings, these being substantially longer than those of the preceding Super Cobra. Each one has an additional wingtip station for a missile such as the AIM-9 Sidewinder. Each stub wing has 2 other stations for 70mm Hydra 70 rocket pods, or AGM-114 Hellfire quad missile launchers. The inner APG-78 longbow fire control radar can also be mounted on a wingtip station. Lu-2A or B nighttime illumination flares, and numerous types of practice munitions. Underneath the nose of the AH-1Z is an AH-49E7 turret fitted with a 20mm M197 3-barreled rotary cannon. The communications suite combines a U.S. Navy RT-1824 integrated radio, UHF or VHF, COMSEC and modem into a single unit. Its powerplant comprises of 2 General Electric T700 G401s turboshaft, producing 1,800 shaft horsepower. Its cruise speed is 300 kilometers per hour. Its combat range can reach up to 232 kilometers, 100 kilograms payload, and max height is 100 meters or more. Next on the list is Kamov KA-52. Kamov also designed another 2-seat variant, the Kamov KA-52 Alligator. Like other Kamov helicopters, it features Kamov's characteristic coaxial contra-rotating rotor system, which removes the need for the entire tail rotor assembly and improves the aircraft's aerobatic qualities. It can perform loops, rolls in the funnel where the aircraft maintains a line of sight to the target while flying circles of varying altitude and airspeed around it. The omission of the tail rotor is a qualitative advantage because the torque-countering tail rotor can use up to 30% of engine power. The rotor blades are made from polymer materials. Absence of the tail rotor enables the helicopter to perform flat turns within the entire flight speed range. A maximum vertical load factor of 3.5 grams combined with low moments of inertia give the KA-52 a high level of agility. Flight systems include inertial navigation system, autopilot and head-up display. Sensors include forward-looking infrared and terrain-following radar. For its own protection, KA-50 is fitted with a radar warning receiver, electronic warfare system and chaff and flare dispenser. The dispensers are placed in aerodynamic containers fitted at wings ends. Each casing contains 2 dispensers with 32 by 26 mm countermeasures each. Extensive all-round armor installed in the cockpit protects the pilot against 12.7 mm armor-piercing bullets and 23 mm projectile fragments. The rotor blades are rated to withstand several hits of ground-based automatic weapons. powered by two Kamov VK25O turboshaft engines, 2,400 shaft horsepower each. It can fly at a max speed of 315 km per hour. Combat range and service ceiling of the aircraft are 470 km and 500 meters respectively. It can climb at a rate of 12 meters per second. It has a mobile semi-rigid 30mm Shipanov 2A42 cannon and 4 hardpoints for other armaments like S-8, S-13 rockets with 2 APU-6 and 12 9K 121 Vickers anti-tank missiles. On number 4 is Mi-28. The Mi-28 NATO reporting name Havoc. It is a Russian all-weather, day-night, military tandem, two-seat anti-armor attack helicopter. It is an attack helicopter with no intended secondary transport capability, better optimized than the Mi-24 gunship for the role. It carries a single gun and an undernose barbette, plus external loads carried on pylons beneath stub wings. The 5-blade main rotor is mounted above the body midsection, comprising of a non-retractable tricycle tail wheel-type landing gear. Due to the energy-absorbing landing gear and seats, the crew can survive a vertical fall of up to 12 meters per second. The Mi-28 has a fully armored cabin, including the windshield, which withstands 7.62 and 12.7 mm armor-piercing bullets and 20 mm shell fragments. The Mi-28 features a helmet-mounted display for the pilot. The pilot designates targets for the navigator, weapons officer, who proceeds to fire the weapons required to fulfill that particular task. Flown by two Kamov TB3-117 turboshaft engines, 194 horsepower each. Its maximum speed is 320 km per hour and combat range of 200 km. Service ceiling of about 700 meters. One chin-mounted 30mm Shipanov 2A42 cannon with 250 rounds, 16 Apache anti-tank missiles and 40 S-8 rockets. Other ordnance includes 9K 121 Vickers and 9 M123 Crescent. Coming up is Eurocopter Tiger. The Eurocopter Tiger is a 4-blade, twin-engine attack helicopter which first entered service in 2003. It is manufactured by Airbus Helicopters, which arose from the merger of Aerospatiales and DAS's respective helicopter divisions. Development of the Tiger started during the Cold War, and it was initially intended as an anti-tank helicopter platform to be used against a Soviet ground invasion of Western Europe. During its prolonged development period, the Soviet Union collapsed, changing the European security situation. France and Germany chose to proceed with the Tiger, developing it instead as a multi-role attack helicopter. It achieved operational readiness in 2008. It possesses very high levels of agility, much of which is attributed to the design of its 13-meter 4-bladed hingeless main rotor. The Tiger can perform full loops and negative G maneuvers. Power is provided by a pair of FADEC-controlled MTU Turbonka Rolls-Royce MTR 390 turboshaft engines. The Tiger has a tandem seat glass cockpit and is operated by a 2-man crew. The pilot is placed in the forward position, with the gunner seated behind. Either of the crew members can manage the weapon systems or the primary flight controls, switching roles if necessitated. A dedicated nose-mounted forward-looking infrared sensor is used by the pilot for nighttime flying. OSIRIS performs as the main sensor for target observation and acquisition, providing firing and targeting data via the weapon's computer. OSIRIS also enables entirely passive target acquisition to be undertaken, and was developed to maximize the capabilities of the Trigat anti-tank missile developed in parallel to the Tiger itself. Powered by two MTR 390 turboshaft engines, 1,303 shaft horsepower each. Its max speed is 315 km per hour without rotor head mast. Range of about 800 kilometers. It can reach a max height of 4 meters and rate of climb is 10.7 meters per second. It has one 30mm GIAT-30 cannon and chin turret, with up to 450 rounds, with 4 Spiker missiles, 4 P-3 Argentine Pesos LR missiles and 4 HOT-3 missiles. Other armaments include 2 Mistral air-to-air missiles, or 2 air-to-air Stinger air-to-air missiles. Next up is Changhe Z-10. The Changhe Z-10 is a Chinese medium attack helicopter developed for the People's Liberation Army Ground Force. It is designed primarily for anti-tank warfare missions, but has secondary air-to-air combat capability as well. Navigational information can be displayed on the MFD. Pilots can also fly the Z-10 in a hands-on manner, including at night using HMS-compatible night vision goggles. Additionally, helmet-mounted displays were developed for the Z-10. The operation engine for the Z-10 is the domestic WZ-9 designed by the 602nd Research Institute. Another new engine, developed by China and Turbonka, is the WZ-16. Its maximum output power is 15 kW, and it will be installed in the Z-10 and Z-15 or EC-175. After the installation of the new engines, power would increase by 500 kW for the Z-10. With WZ-9 turbofans, internal armament consists of a gun mount installed on the chin of the aircraft. It has one 23mm revolver gun or one 25mm M242 Bushmaster chain gun copy missile carrying capacity range up to 4 HJ8, HJ9 laser-guided air-to-surface missiles, 4 Ti-90 air-to-air missiles and many more. Its avionics system has Blue Sky Navigation Pod, KZ-900 Reconnaissance Pod etc. Up next is Denel Rooivalk. The Denel Rooivalk is an attack helicopter manufactured by Denel Aviation of South Africa. Rooivalk is Afrikaans for Red Falcon, which refers to the Lesser Kestrel. Development of the type began in 1984 by the Atlas Aircraft Corporation. Its development is closely connected to the Atlas Oryx transport helicopter, both aircraft being based on the Aerospatiale SA 330 Puma and having started development at the same time. The prototype first flew on the 11th of February 1990, by which time the program had suffered a considerable setback. The Rooivalk carries a range of weapons depending on the mission profile. It is generally fitted with a nose-mounted f220mm cannon with 700 rounds. The Rooivalk has a nose-mounted gyro-stabilized sensor turret housing with auto-tracking. The Rooivalk uses a Thales top owl helmet-mounted display. Notable features include a tandem cockpit, starboard tail rotor with a port tailplane, a fixed-wheeled undercarriage as well as wire cutters above and below the cockpit and on the undercarriage. The Rooivalk is capable of doing a loop and thus momentarily flying upside down. Powered by 2 Turbomka Makilla 1K2 turboshaft, having a service ceiling of 100 meters and climb at a rate of 13.3 meters per second. Its range extends to 740 kilometers at sea level. 8 or 16 Makopa ZT-6 long-range anti-tank guided missiles, MBDA Mistral air-to-air missiles, 38 or 76 into 70mm folding fin aerial rockets. On number 8 is Agusta A-129 Mangusta. The Agusta A-129 Mangusta is an attack helicopter originally designed and produced by Italian company Agusta. It is the first attack helicopter to be designed and produced wholly in Europe. It has continued to be developed by Agusta Westland, the successor company to Agusta. It has been exclusively operated by the Italian Army, which introduced the type to service during 1990. The A-129 has undergone several combat deployments, seeing use in Somalia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. It has proven well suited to operating in hot climates, as well as quite flexible in the field. The A-129's fuselage is highly angular and armored for ballistic protection. The composite rotor blades are also able to withstand hits from 23mm cannon fire. The two-man crew, comprising a pilot and gunner, sit in a conventional tandem cockpit. The Spiker, a fourth-generation anti-tank missile, had been added to the A-129's arsenal. In the air-to-air role, the Mistral missile could be equipped furthermore. The 92 Marka Stinger missile was certified for use in 2003. The A-129 can also be equipped with 81mm or 70mm unguided rockets housed in pods as well as 12.7mm machine gun pods. Later models also feature a M197 3-barrel 20mm cannon that is installed onto a nose-mounted Oto Melara TM197B turret. Power is provided by a pair of Rolls-Royce GEM 21004D turboshaft engines producing 890 horsepower each. Features of this engine includes automatic engine management and simplified controls for ease of operation, along with a relatively brief startup interval and a comparatively low specific fuel consumption. The A-129 can laser designate targets for other friendly aircraft to attack. On the AW-129D, Rafael Advanced Defense Systems' Toplight 3 sight is used as the primary targeting system. It is able to act as a FLIR and has both manual and automatic target tracking modes. Toplight also provides a greater detection and identification range than the 1970s-era Helito sensor it replaced. Its max speed is 278 km per hour, and a max height of 725 meters with climbing rate up to 10.2 meters per second. Last on the list is Mi-24. The Mi-24 is a large helicopter gunship, attack helicopter and low-capacity troop transport with room for 8 passengers. It is produced by Mil Moscow Helicopter Plant and was introduced by the Soviet Air Force in 1972. The helicopter is currently in use by 58 countries. Soviet pilots called the Mi-24 the flying tank, a term used historically with the famous World War II Soviet Il-2SH Termovik armored ground attack aircraft, with 2 top-mounted Isotov TV-3-117 turboshaft engines driving a mid-mounted 17.3 meters 5-blade main rotor and a 3-blade tail rotor. The Mi-24's titanium rotor blades are resistant to 12.7 mm rounds. The cockpit is protected by ballistic-resistant windscreens and a titanium armored tub. The cockpit and crew compartment are overpressurized to protect the crew in NBC conditions. The airframe was streamlined and fitted with retractable tricycle undercarriage landing gear to reduce drag. At high speed, the wings provide considerable lift. The main rotor was tilted 2.5 deg to the right from the fuselage to compensate for translating tendency. At a hover, the landing gear was also tilted to the left so that the rotor would still be level when the aircraft was on the ground. This helicopter has been used by many countries in different conflicts including First and Second Congo War in Afghanistan, and also Russian invasion of Ukraine. 335 km per hour is its max speed with a range of 450 km, and service ceiling reaching 900 meters. Its main armaments include flexible 12.7 mm Yakushev Borzov Yak-B Gatling gun on most variants with maximum of 1,470 rounds of ammunition, and a fixed twin-barrel GSH 30 Kelvin autocannon on the Mi-24P. Wingtip pylons can only carry the 9M17 Falanga. First-generation armaments include UB-32S5 rocket launchers and S-24 240 mm rockets. That's all for today. See you soon.